Hi, my name is Laura Mehl.
And I'm Nadia Rashawn.
And this is To My Younger Artist,
a podcast where we, after forming artists and teachers, talk about what we wish we would have known when we were younger artists.
You can find us on Instagram and YouTube at To My Younger Artist Pod.
And we can't wait to share this with you. Hi guys, welcome back to My Younger Artist. I'm Nadia Rashawn, and I am really looking forward to this episode because we're talking about something that's really been on my mind over the last month or so, but it's been super heavy on my mind over the last couple of days. And I'll get into that. But before we get started, a couple of things. If you have not listened to our last episode, then you may have missed that we are officially filming the pod and posting it. So we're recording, Dustin's doing his editing magic, and then we are putting out the video. So if you would prefer to pop on the video on YouTube and clean your house or clean your room or, just watch instead of listen, you can do that now on YouTube. And it also gives us the opportunity to post our clips on Instagram. So that's number 2. If you are not following us on Instagram, you should do so because we're really upping our game over there, especially with the addition of videos. We're currently doing a series on Instagram called A Note to My Younger Artist, where we ask our friends and artists in our communities who we really admire to write a note to their younger selves, their younger artist. And so we've got some really beautiful messages being shared over there. So follow us on Instagram. And number 3, before we hop into the topic, is my location. I'm currently in New Jersey, so I am sitting at Dustin's workspace instead of at my desk in Omaha. So that's why the background looks a little different. And then also the setup in Omaha for myself has also shifted a little bit. So next week's video will also be a different visual setup. Slay! Okay, let's get into it. So as I said, this topic's been really heavy on my mind, and it's been heavy on my mind for a couple of different reasons. But the main reason is because last month I got a self-tape request for a show that is super cool and that I have loved for years and years and years. But I never considered myself a contender for a role in that show. I never saw myself as the right actress for any of the roles. And when I got the tape and saw what role I was being asked to tape for, I was immediately girl, no. I emailed my agents and I was like, hey girls, so I disagree. I don't know. I'm scared. Help. And in reality, I was counting myself out, and Dustin likes to tell me when I get into my head about auditioning, he likes to go, it sounds like you are doing the casting director's job and not yours. And number 1, that's wild. That's absolutely crazy, bonkers, cuckoo banana pants. But also, he's not wrong. And I have to remind myself that over and over and over again. And the other reason that I have been struggling with this audition process is because I counted myself out because I was scared that I wouldn't be right. I decided in my head that I wasn't right for the role, and then I solidified that by doubling down and telling my agents I'm not right for this role. And then my agents going, yeah girl, you're still going to tape for this because this is a huge opportunity. And then after that tape was sent out, I had convinced myself fully. I was like, well, they're not going to call me in for an in-person or a callback or anything. And that is why am I making myself enemy number 1? And so this process over the last several weeks it's caused me to ask myself, why am I so scared to want something? Why am I so afraid to want a role? And I think there are a couple of different reasons. For myself, wanting a role means being super vulnerable. We audition over and over and over again. And we know that we are told no more than we're ever going to be told yes in this industry. And we make peace with that. But when you are going through an audition process and you completely like lock in and you are connected to the role, when you don't get it, it hurts. It sucks. A couple years ago, I did like 6 rounds for a first national tour and got to the very final round. They were so nice to me in the room. They were so complimentary. And then I didn't book it and I was absolutely crushed. Like my agents were like, girl, we think you're going to book this. Like things are looking good. And then we all were like, oh no. And after that, I didn't audition for a couple of months. I was like, I need a break. And so it's largely a defense mechanism of trying to protect ourselves emotionally and mentally, but emotionally, because in any industry, giving yourself completely over and saying like, here I am, rip my heart out. Like that's horrific. But I also think that this issue in my head kind of stems from growing up and being told that being an ambitious person is not necessarily a good thing. And I don't know if it's because I am a woman or if it's because I'm a Black woman or what it is. I grew up in the Midwest, but I feel like I was constantly being told to like temper who I am and how I see myself. So growing up, my mother taught me that there is a very big difference between having confidence and cockiness. Cockiness is, if you haven't heard the term, like being cocky, it's like think of a peacock and the beautiful like tail feathers that they have and how they strut around showing their beautiful tail feathers. Or is it called a plume? I don't know if it's called a plume or not. I think I made that up, but I feel like it could be called a plume. That makes sense. Whatever. Growing up, I was always told that like I should feel confident in who I am as a person and who I was as a performer. But the moment that I started to like exhibit any form of cockiness, my mother would put me in my place. She'd say, hey, like we don't carry ourselves that way. You did an amazing job on stage. I'm very proud of you, but have some humility, find some humility because that's not what we do. And I think that for any artist, especially in the performance industry, you have to be the one who is believing in yourself the hardest, because how is someone across the table supposed to look at you and go, that's the one? They've got something special if you don't believe that you have something special. Right? And that's not walking into the room and being like, I am the best one in here. Like I'm a dancer. I am here. I can kick my face. But like, you don't have to exhibit that in a personality trait. All you have to do is go up there and do what you do. Do your thing at the best of your ability. Show them what you have to offer. Right? Also, usually I like type out my outlines. If you're not watching the video, my outline is on a neon green note card because a couple of weeks ago, I spilled water on my laptop, on my beautiful MacBook Air. And so it's kaput. And yeah, I just didn't feel like typing on my iPad because that's tedious. So I wrote my little outline on the note card, which it actually works out because when Laura and I are doing outlines for like not full, but like longer episodes, the episodes that we work on together, our outlines are like meticulous. They're beautiful. But when we do them together, it's like bullet points. It's like, you know what you're talking about. You are the one who decided to talk about this by yourself. So I am currently referencing my note card. So this brings me back to asking, like, why does it feel illegal to be an ambitious person? I think that it's super important to set goals. If you listen to the last episode, the Q&A, Laura and I asked, like, what are some of Laura's goals? And then she asked, what are some of my goals, career-wise? And this led us to actually yesterday talk about what our goals for the podcast are. And we ran into a moment of like realizing that we weren't necessarily giving ourselves the permission to want more. We were like, oh, well, initially we wanted our podcast to be catered towards our students. And then the idea of like people who don't work, like who don't take lessons through our studios, or who haven't done any classes with us. Like the idea of the outside world listening to the podcast and liking what we have to say, mind-boggling, right? And so we had to like have like a little reckoning of like giving ourselves permission to want more, to like want big numbers, but really to have people listening who are liking what we're doing, because we are loving what we're doing and we are truly just wanting to like share that with everyone. Okay. And then I think the last thing that I want to say is that you have to trust that you have done the work. We work so hard. We put so much into our craft and we have done so much to become the artist that we are in this moment. And we will continue to evolve, but you have to trust, give yourself permission to trust that you have done the work and that you deserve what you are looking for. Like you deserve to reach the goals that you have set because you've done the work to lead up to it. Have I made my Broadway debut? No. Do I know what's going to come in time? I feel pretty confident about that. Yeah. Because I've been doing the work for years and years and years. And if it's meant to be, it will be. It's like, I think that that's another defense mechanism as well. It's coming to terms with like, or I guess making peace with like, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If it's not going to happen, that's okay. And remembering that I like to play pretend for a living. Like, it ain't that deep. It's not that serious. We are so privileged to get to create art in this way, right? Yeah. I don't know. I think those are all my thoughts on ambition and setting goals and giving yourself permission, and like keeping our defenses up. Because we want to protect ourselves, because this industry is scary and auditioning is scary and booking a job is scary. I'm like looking down the line, like I don't have any work lined up and I'm about to lose my health insurance. Slay. We love that. We don't really love it, but like, it's just how it is. And we find our ways to work around it. Right. But yeah, that's it. Give yourself permission. All things are well if you are trusting in yourself and you are letting yourself want. Okay, y'all. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. We've got another episode coming next week, so we'll catch you next Tuesday. Subscribe to us on YouTube, To My Younger Artist Pod. Follow us on Instagram. If you have topics or you want to write into us, you can DM us on Instagram or you can shoot us an email at tomyyoungerartist@gmail.com. We are happy to take suggestions for episodes or to answer any questions that you guys may have that we haven't already talked about. I can't believe this is episode number 21. Like, that's not so. Okay. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the Young Artist Club, and we will catch you guys later. Bye.
This episode of TMYA was hosted by Nadia Rashan, with music by Renee Mehl and edits done by Dustin, Ciano. Thanks for listening.